name is Henry Evans, and I am addressing you from my bed in Palo Alto. Chen asked me to speak to this Tech for Good conference today. As I am sure you know, technology itself is neither good nor evil. Its nature is determined by the measure of the men who control it. The primary purpose of my presentation today is to describe how we have tried to use technology for good to make the lives of disabled people easier. First, let me show you a few brief clips about me so you understand my disability. I will then spend the majority of the time describing the project I co-founded at Willow Rush called Robots for Humanity. Robots for Humanity is about using technology to extend our capabilities, fill our weaknesses, and let people, particularly disabled people, perform at their best. As for me personally, I won the Rare Health Defect Lottery almost 20 years ago at the ripe old age of 40, and I have been a mute quadriplegic ever since. The following short clips will give you an idea of my condition. The first clip was taken from a 3D virtual reality short film produced by Sarah Berkovich and has been converted to 2D for this presentation.
Hello, my name is Henry Evans. These are pictures of what my life used to look like. I had a decent job that I actually liked. My kids were doing pretty well in school, and my marriage was good. We just started to buy a house. All in all, your basic American dream. It felt like life was just beginning. And then, when I was 40, I had a massive stroke that left me unable to speak or move any part of my body. And I spent almost every day lying in this bed. And I know it might be jarring, but this isn't my voice anymore.
This is my voice. Being mute is very lonely. I have learned to deal with these long periods of isolation by daydreaming. It's my way of coping with an otherwise impossible condition. My wife calls it my dream world.
Morning sunshine, a big day, so I'm gonna be really fast and get your water and everything, but we gotta move a little bit faster, okay?
On the night I had a stroke, I got a headache. I went to bed. The next day I felt better when I woke up, but insisted on taking the kids to school. As I drove, I got tunnel vision. Somehow I made it. My wife says I stumbled down the hall, using the walls for support. I said I just wanted to fall asleep. She insisted on calling my doctor. It would not be the last time she would save my life. To show you how she helps me now, and to better show you the extent of my paralysis and mobility issues, here is another clip.
See how the trick is when you do this transfer, he's got to hold his head up. I didn't realize this, but the therapist showed me the weight is all in the head. So if your head's down, you become 10 times heavier. But if your head's up, not taking that exercise, but it helps so much. Okay. I got you, honey. I'm not letting you go. Okay. You sit up. Okay. Yeah.
increasingly advantageous to disabled people by allowing us to interact with the world in ways that used to be impossible. In cyberspace, no one knows I am paralyzed. I spend a lot of time playing on Mind Scramble and have become pretty proficient at it. Technology is my window to a larger world. But first, I have to gain access to a computer one way or another. I could move my head and my left thumb, and not much else. I could not speak, and I certainly could not sit up. I did have my mind because the event occurred in my brainstem and not my brain.
Head tracking devices sold commercially by the company Mondent Tech convert my tiny head movements into cursor movements and enables my use of a regular computer. I can surf the web, exchange email with people, and routinely destroy my friends' Steve Cousins in online word games. This technology allows me to remain engaged, mentally active, and feel like I am a part of the world.
Access to a computer would prove to be critical in my next adventure, Robots for Humanity.
One day, I was lying in bed watching CNN when I was amazed by Professor Charlie Gumbo, the healthcare robotics lab at Georgia Tech, demonstrating a BR2 robot. I emailed Charlie and Steve Cousins of Willow Garage, and we formed the Robots for Humanity project. For about 2 years, Robots for Humanity developed ways for me to use the BR2 as my body surrogate. I shaved myself for the first time in 10 years. From my home in California, I shaved Charlie in Atlanta. I handed out Halloween candy. I opened my refrigerator on my own. I began doing tasks around the house.
And so Robots for Humanity was originally co-founded by myself, Steve Cousins, and Charlie Gumbo at Willow Garage. After Willow Garage closed, Georgia Tech took up the mantle and funded another 5 years of Robots for Humanity research. In addition to working with body surrogates, Robots for Humanity also applied technology to the severely disabled person's need for mobility. In the beginning, mobility merely referred to the simple act of controlling something in my room, like my hospital bed, instead of needing somebody else to do it for me several times a day. After many months of iterative development by my nephew Henry Cleaver and a group from Georgia Tech, they completed Octobed. It also uses a Raspberry Pi to project a GUI on my computer so that I can click on it and adjust my hospital bed whenever I want. And of course, it is also wireless, except for the power cord. I just need a standard web browser. Another device which increases my independence and mobility in bed was developed by some mechanical engineering students at the University of Pennsylvania. It is called ScratchBot, and it enables me to scratch facial edges without assistance. What you are looking at here are the web pages which are wirelessly generated by the miniature computer in the ScratchBot. The images allow me to control the scratcher without assistance. I just point to the image of the command with my head tracker and then click a simple switch. Here I'm wirelessly directing it to my head. It greatly enhances my independence because no caregiver is needed. It feels great. The next machine is somewhat whimsical, but it's the perfect example of my motto. If you want something, you look for options.
This innovative machine uses the EEG to detect blinking for control of a revolving straw and whiskey pump. Henry is able to sip single malts just by blinking to activate. Let's watch. Whiskey straw. EEG. Robots don't have to be evil. I'm Henry Cleaver, and I build robots for humanity.
Doing things in the house was fine, but now I wanted to go outside and check out the yard. When I realized that all I needed to bring were my retinas, not my whole body, it occurred to me that perhaps a drone with a camera would do the trick. I enlisted the help of Dr. Chandler August Jenkins of Brown University.
Chad showed me how easy it is to purchase and fly aerial drones. Using a mouse cursor I control with my head, these web interfaces allow me to see video from the robot and send control commands by pressing buttons in a web browser. With a little practice, I became good enough with this interface to drive around my home on my own. I could look around our garden and see the grapes we are growing. I inspected the solar panels on the roof. One of my challenges as a pilot is to land the drone on our basketball hoop. I regularly fly drones around his lab several times a week from my home 3,000 miles away. I never thought I would be able to casually move around a campus like Brown on my own. I just wish I could afford their tuition.
Some students at Georgia Tech also built a drone control system for me. This one utilized a virtual reality headset so it felt like I was walking around the yard. Watch. Another friend, Don Kidler, suggested that I could fly over the woods behind my backyard using Leachy drone control software. With it, I could reprogram a flight path which the drone would then fly, pointing its camera where I told it to. The drone would autonomously return to base with footage of the entire flight. Exploring the backyard is fine, but I used to be a world traveler and I wanted more. Since the drone controls were in a web browser, there was theoretically no limit to where I could fly it. First, I gained a tech talk in Washington, D.C., which included a drone flight demonstration. Then we got invited to do it for a group of several hundred from the United States House of Representatives. After that, I decided to fly my drone in Australia on a couple of different occasions. Groups in Australia took it upon themselves to figure out the technology so I could do just that. One group had me give a commencement speech and then demonstrate my drone acrobatics on stage. The other group had me chase my host around the stage. I did, even though I was on the other side of the planet. Well, that is about as far as I have been with drones. But I have done much more travel, visiting over 40 different cities on 4 continents, touring museums and giving speeches with the aid of a telepresent robot called Beam. My life, Jane explains.
The Beam has helped us as a family because when you have a member of your family that has lost everything, movement, speech, so he's literally trapped in his body, the Beam is actually taking Henry to places that he could never go to.
Once the beam is set up, I can log it, go for a walk anytime I want, with no help from others, even if the beam is physically located on the other side of the world. Call it a democratization of culture. It's the closest I have come to walking in the 11 years since my stroke.
The Beam has taken Henry from a man that has locked-in syndrome to freeing him to go visit people, interact with people, and what that means is it freed him up mentally from his body. He's doing what he loves. He's living his life.
I have finally found an easy way to travel, seeing new places and meeting new people. The first thing I did was visit museums all over the world, starting in San Francisco.
Visitors to the Diyang, one of San Francisco's fine arts museums, have plenty to look at on the walls. But strolling through the museum with a robot can cause heads to turn.
Pretty busy gallery here today.
The Diyang now has 2 robots that open the museum to those who could never come here in person.
How do you rate this experience, seeing the museum this way?
It allows you to explore the museum.
Henry Evans, who is almost completely paralyzed, worked with the museum to make touring by robot a reality.
John, the fact that at Water Village you can now wander through a museum on the other side of the planet or just across town, while comfortably lying in bed at home is pretty remarkable.
Evans can move only his head and one finger. But that's enough to log onto the internet and guide a robot through the Diyang's galleries.
And thanks for letting me join you on this tour of the museum. I haven't done this kind of thing before. But it takes a lot of technology. Is it worth all this technology to bring you here this way?
If you are able-bodied, you can, and do, experience these things all the time, and you probably take them for granted. But if you spend most of your life in bed, you cannot readily experience these things, and you don't take them for granted. While we were still in California, we stopped by Jay Leno's garage to take a tour of his car collection and talk to Jay. From sunny Southern California, we hopped on our magic carpet to take a tour of an ancient palace in Seoul, South Korea.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it okay for you?
Perfect.
Perfect. Now you are in the center of big city Seoul.
And I show you the very beautiful palace. But I feel like talking with you in
Yes.
radio place.
Yes, I feel like you're standing right here.
Can you follow me?
Sure.
Really, you can move. Wow, great. You can see all these buildings. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
여행지에서 만난 사람을 상대하는 그 말의 일사법이다.
Your life hasn't ended. Your life is beginning, but you have a new life now. And technology has definitely played a part of that.
The tour of the Korean Palace was pretty special. Our next stop was also very special. My nephew was getting married in St. Louis, Missouri, and wanted me to participate in the ceremony. But actually getting on an airplane is a real pain for me. So, instead, they put the rings on a telepresent robot, picture Peter, and I was able to walk down behind the ring mirror. When there's a will, there's a way. I will stop with the videos here, but I could go on and on. This is a partial list of the places I have visited, often more than once. As you have seen today, technology can be used for good to enhance the lives of severely disabled people. As I mentioned in the introduction of this talk, the good or ill use of technology is determined solely by the measure of the man or women controlling it. Let me close by playing the first minute or so of a song I wrote using head tracker technology. It is sung beautifully by Ed Taylor, and it is called Measure of a Man.
Pop's tangled beard was long and gray, his sight was almost gone. He said, in my life I learned some things that I should probably pass along.